Discover how a homeless girl's incredible kindness transformed a billionaire CEO's life forever. Kayla's heart raced as she darted through the thrumming streets of Chicago. With her dirty backpack slung over her shoulder and a cheerful smile plastered across her face, it was hard to believe she was only 14. She picked up a half-eaten bagel from the ground, brushing off the dirt. One person's trash is another's treasure, she whispered to herself, a habit she'd developed to cope with her reality. Each day, she woke up on the cold concrete, but she never let the city's gritty facade dull her spirit. Instead, Kayla discovered beauty in the smiles she could bring to others the way a simple piece of bread or a warm blanket could ignite hope in the eyes of her fellow transient friends. In the city's gleaming high-rises, Jack, the powerful CEO, was in crisis mode. His company faced a public relations nightmare, a scandal over unethical practices that threatened his empire. All too accustomed to the glossy side of life, he decided to escape the noise. Tension hung thick in the air as he entered a nearby coffee shop, searching for a moment of calm among the chaos. There, he spotted Kayla, her eyes twinkling with kindness, but he was too consumed with his own troubles to see her. "What a waste," he muttered, eyes narrowing at the sight of her. He could never understand her world, nor did he want to, but Kayla wasn't discouraged. As she caught his gaze, she offered him her last slice of bread, her smile unwavering. "Here, it's all I have left," she said, her voice soft yet powerful. It was a gesture that shattered Jack's hardened facade, leaving him momentarily speechless. The thrill of a billion-dollar deal paled compared to the vulnerability of that honest exchange. For the first time, Jack's facade cracked, he felt something warm spread through his chest, something foreign and uncomfortable. Weeks passed, and something deep in Jack stirred an odd curiosity about Kayla's world. He began leaving the office early, wandering streets he once ignored. He caught glimpses of her hardship, but also her capacity for joy that bloomed despite her struggles. In conversations with her, he learned of dreams postponed and losses endured. Each story made him question the ironclad ideals of the American dream that once motivated him. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Just when Jack thought of abandoning his journey for change, a late-night encounter with Kayla reignited his determination. She spoke of resilience and community, words pulsating with truth. That night, resolve blossomed in him. He would build a local community center, a sanctuary where people from different worlds could collide, learn, and grow. As Jack prepared for the grand opening of the community center, anxiety thrummed in the air. On the momentous day, Kayla stood on stage, the embodiment of hope, recounting her journey. With every word, she ignited emotion among the crowd, surprise, admiration, and the dawning realization of humanity's fragility wrapped around them like a warm blanket. Kayla's presence fueled a spark of change, and Jack realized this was just the beginning. Standing beside her, he pondered the legacy they could create together. Would they be able to bridge the divide between their worlds? A question lingered, hanging thick in the atmosphere, as both hearts beat with the thrilling uncertainty of a transformed future. The crowd erupted into applause, ringing in the air with joy and hope. Kayla's smile grew radiant, almost blinding, as she stepped down from the stage. Jack watched, pride swelling in his chest. She hadn't just shared her story, she had woven a thread connecting everyone present, no matter their background. The energy pulsed like electricity through the room, and for Jack, it felt as if the stale air of his corporate world had finally been replaced with something life-affirming. As the crowd dispersed, Jack felt a gravitational pull toward Kayla. She stood surrounded by children and adults alike, all seeking her attention, her warmth. He admired how effortlessly she made everyone feel seen, validated. He approached, and she turned, her gaze lighting on him like the sun breaking through clouds. "Hey, did you hear them? she asked, laughing, her voice bubbling with excitement. They actually liked what I said. Jack chuckled, not just at her words but at the childlike joy radiating from her. They didn't just like it, Kayla. You inspired them. She blushed, looking down at her scuffed shoes. I wanted to tell them that hope is out there, even when it feels impossible to find. Just then, an older man approached. His lined face bore the marks of harsh years, but his eyes sparkled. You reminded me why I keep going, kid, he said, his voice trembling. Thank you. Kayla's cheeks flushed a deeper shade, and Jack felt a pang of admiration. This girl, who had known so much suffering, was now giving back in ways he had never imagined possible. What do you think now? About the center? He asked. It's not just a building, she replied, her gaze serious now. It's a beacon, a place where people can find each other. But it's not going to work if we don't all pitch in. This can't be just about us. What do you mean? Jack asked, intrigued. If the community doesn't feel like it belongs, we'll just be another charity. People need to have a role, Jack. They need to feel valued. Her words struck him like a lightning bolt. Jack had envisioned the center as a refuge, but Kayla saw it as more. He nodded, feeling the weight of her wisdom. You're right. How can we make that happen? Her eyes gleamed with determination. Let us start local. We can hold events, get everyone involved, foster a sense of ownership. Everyone has something to give. Jack's mind whirred with possibilities. He could see it, the community center bustling with activity, neighbors trading skills, children learning from the experiences of elders, and a real community thriving, not just surviving. They spent the rest of the afternoon brainstorming, sketching out ideas for workshops, art classes, and a community garden. Jack felt the rush of excitement he had lost in the corporate grind. Kayla's passion stirred something within him, a sense of purpose far greater than profit margins or stock prices. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the city, Jack felt lighter, freer. He asked, "Are you ready for this? This kind of change takes time and energy." Kayla met his gaze, an unwavering light in her eyes. "I was born ready for this. It's now or never, Jack." Just as they were about to leave, a group of their new friends approached, eager to get started. Jack smiled, realizing they were about to embark on something remarkable together. Would they truly be able to ignite a fire of transformation within the community? As the two of them stood hand in hand among a gathering crowd, a new question lingered in the air like the scent of fresh rain. What if this was only the beginning of something much bigger than either of them could have ever imagined? The next day, Jack awoke with a sense of purpose buzzing through him. The sun filtered through the curtains, and the world outside felt vibrant, alive in a way he hadn't noticed before. He rolled out of bed, a fresh resolve propelling him forward. This wasn't just another day, it was the first step on a path he had never considered. He made a quick breakfast, the smell of coffee brewing acting as fuel for his excitement. After a hasty shower, Jack put on a simple shirt and jeans, more casual than he typically dressed for work. Today, he wouldn't be closing deals or crunching numbers. Today, he would greet his community workers and start laying a foundation for something incredible. Arriving at the community center, he found Kayla already there, surrounded by a few volunteers. They were sitting in a circle on a weathered blanket, children darting around them. Laughter rang out, breaking the morning silence. Jack couldn't help but smile. Kayla looked up, and her eyes sparkled. "Jack! You made it!" she exclaimed, jumping to her feet. "We're planning our first event today, a community cleanup. Imagine everyone coming together for a cause." "Sounds perfect," he replied, his spirit lifting at the thought of engaging everyone in a collective effort. "What do we need?" Kayla grinned, and confidence danced in her voice. "We'll need supplies, trash bags, gloves, maybe some snacks. I think we can even get a local grocery store to donate. People love to pitch in when they're offered something tangible. Let us spread the word." Soon after, the group was buzzing with activity. Jack found himself picking up the phone, calling local businesses and gathering resources. Discussing logistics with Kayla became a rhythm, a dance of ideas and possibilities. And it felt good. Really good. As the morning passed, they drew in more volunteers, each person bringing warmth and energy. Families, students, elders, they all joined, united under the banner of their community. Jack watched, his heart swelling. This was no longer about Kayla's dream or his donation, it was about a shared mission. Finally, under the bright sun, they stood together, bags in hand. Jack glanced around and felt a lump in his throat as he spoke. Thank you all for being here today. This is just the beginning. It's our chance to make a difference and create a place that feels like home. A cheer rose from the crowd, and Jack picked out familiar faces smiling back at him, including the older man from yesterday, who winked as he stepped forward. You said it right, son. If we don't take care of our own, who will? With a sweeping wave of hands, they started walking, picking up litter as they moved. Each piece discarded felt like shedding layers of apathy, each filled bag a small victory. Kayla's infectious laughter and the joy of the children split through the air, echoing through the streets. Yet, as they worked, Jack began to notice something else, faces filled with hope, all threaded together in a shared experience. It was as if Kayla's vision was taking root, growing much faster than he expected. Until he was struck by a thought. But what about the struggles many still faced beyond today's efforts? That night, back at home, Jack laid awake. The community cleanup had been a turning point, yes, but it would take more than one event to change perceptions, one gathering to forge lasting connections. What if he could find deeper ways to support those in need? What if they could create a program that not only included a cleanup but also provided skills for employment and mentorship? Sleeplessness pulled at him, but he leaned into it. He could see a vision shimmering on the horizon, each detail brighter than the last. It felt like it could truly evolve into something sacred, a community that uplifted everyone, where barriers dissolved and kindness thrived. As he finally closed his eyes, determination simmering, he whispered into the dark, I'll find a way. Little did he know, the next steps would lead them toward uncharted territory and challenges that would shake them all to their core. What secrets were waiting to be uncovered as their journey unfolded? The following day broke with an energy of its own. Jack, still buzzing from the cleanup success, felt an unexpected thrill at the possibilities ahead. His mind raced with ideas, workshops, mentorship programs, opportunities. He was no longer an observer, he was a participant in forging change. He arrived at the community center early, hoping to catch Kayla before the crowd gathered. The air was cool and crisp, and a soft breeze played with the leaves, whispering promises of new beginnings. As the sunlight filtered through, he could already hear laughter spilling from inside. Hey, Jack! Kayla called, her hair bouncing as she rushed out to greet him. I was thinking, what if we created a skills workshop for teens? You know, teach them something they could actually use in their future. That's a brilliant idea, he replied, excitement building. What do you think we should focus on? Maybe job skills? Resume writing? Exactly! She exclaimed, her eyes twinkling. And we could partner with local businesses. They might be willing to come in and speak or even offer internships. As they fleshed out the idea, more volunteers began to arrive, each bringing their unique skills and stories. They all added to the buzz, brainstorming and modifying Jack's and Kayla's initial plan, but just as they were solidifying their thoughts, a little girl, no older than 7, wandered towards them, holding a scruffy worn-out doll under one arm. She shuffled nervously but gathered the courage to speak up. Are you guys helping people? Jack knelt to her level and nodded. We are. We're going to help teach people new skills so they can find jobs and make their lives better. The girl's smile brightened the morning. Can I help? I want to help people too. Kayla's heart melted. Of course, sweetheart. What's your name? Lila, she chirped, her confidence growing, Jack exchanged a glance with Kayla, and something unspoken passed between them: hope, joy, and an undeniable connection to this child. "Well, Lila, we could use all the help we can get. How about you help us plan fun activities for the workshop?" Lila jumped up and down, excitement radiating from her. "Yes. Yes. I can make it fun." As days turned into weeks, Lila's enthusiasm became contagious. She was the heart of their meetings, inspiring everyone, reminding them of the innocent joy that lay in serving others. Jack often found himself smiling every time she spoke, her childlike vision intertwining with their mission, but underneath the surface, Jack grappled with the challenges ahead. The town's socio-economic struggles weighed heavily on him. How do you truly transform lives? One afternoon, while strategizing, he pulled Kayla aside, his voice filled with concern. "Do you think we can really make an impact?" he asked, the doubt seeping through his brave facade. "What if we end up disappointing them?" Kayla's eyes softened. "Jack, we just have to start. It won't be perfect, but every small step matters. For every life we touch, it's worth it." Her words hung in the air, igniting something deep within him. He needed to trust the journey, no matter how uncertain it felt. That evening, Jack couldn't sleep again. His mind floated between the children's smiles and the stories of struggle he had witnessed in his own neighborhood. Suddenly, he felt the heaviness of responsibility pressing against his heart. What if, in their journey to help others, they uncovered secrets that could shake their very foundation? As Jack closed his eyes, darkness enveloped him, yet the light of possibility flickered in his chest. The moment felt pivotal. He wasn't just building a program, he was becoming part of something bigger than himself. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, unexpected twists. Jack smiled faintly as he surrendered to sleep, ready to embrace whatever adventure lay ahead. The weight of his commitment felt daunting, but a sense of exhilaration pushed him forward. What hidden truths were waiting just beneath the surface of their mission? The sun rose the next morning, casting a golden hue over the community center. Jack walked through the doors with a renewed sense of determination. Today was the day they would finalize their plans for the workshop. Kayla and Lila were already there, deep in discussion as they traced colorful drawings of potential activities on a whiteboard. "Hey, you two!" Jack called out, stealing a glance at the doodles. "Looks like I missed the brainstorming party." Lila spun around, her eyes wide with excitement. "Jack! Look! We can have a cooking class, a gardening workshop, and even art. Everyone loves art." "That sounds amazing, Lila," he said, kneeling down to her level. "You've got great ideas. We should definitely include something creative." Kayla smiled, but Jack noticed the faint hint of apprehension in her eyes. "I'm just hoping we can actually get enough people to sign up. The registration sheet isn't seeing much action." Jack felt a twinge of doubt, but he shook it off. "Let's put together a strong plan and then we'll spread the word. We'll go door to door if we have to. People need to see that these workshops can change lives." Lila bounced in place, her enthusiasm brighter than the morning sun. "I'll help. I can tell everyone at school." "Perfect." Kayla's expression brightened. "The more voices we have, the better." As they strategized, Jack felt the weight of the town's struggles weighing on them all. Even the excitement in the room couldn't mask the underlying fears. Would anyone show up? What if they tried and failed? These questions gnawed at him, but he pushed through, leaning into Lila's infectious optimism. Later that day, as they plastered flyers throughout the neighborhood, Jack caught a glimpse of an elderly man sitting alone on a park bench. At first, he hesitated. The man looked tired, slumped, and lost in thought. But something inside urged him to approach. "Hey there," Jack said, sitting beside him. The man looked up, surprised. "I'm Jack. We're setting up skills workshops at the community center. Will you join us?" The man's eyes narrowed. What for? Kids don't care about old folks like me. Jack was taken aback. That's not true. We want to help everyone. You have wisdom and stories to share. People would love to hear from you. Why should I trust you? The man muttered, shifting his gaze away. Jack felt his heart race. He had to break through this wall. I get it. Trust doesn't come easy. But I promise, we're here to bring folks together, not push anyone away. The man inhaled deeply, then nodded slightly. A flicker of interest ignited in his eyes. Maybe. Encouraged, Jack smiled. Why not stop by tomorrow? You can see what we're about. Who knows? It might feel good to share. As he walked away, Jack felt lighter. Sometimes it only took a single conversation to shift perspectives. He hoped the man would come. When he returned to the center, Kayla and Lila were excitedly planning more activities. Jack couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of something great. Yet a nagging voice kept reminding him of the obstacles ahead. They had built a small fire of hope, but how long would it last before it was snuffed out? As Jack studied Lila's joyful face, he couldn't help but wonder, what would their small community really need to truly heal? What deeper connections were waiting to be discovered? And right then, a thought struck him: what if breaking down barriers meant they'd have to confront their own fears? Would they be brave enough to do that? Jack's heart raced as he considered the possibilities, and he had to stop himself from smiling. Whatever lay ahead was unpredictable, but it felt like they were on the edge of something transformative, something that could change everything. What would they uncover when they plunged into the unknown? The next day dawned crisp and bright, the sun sending golden rays filtering through scattered clouds. Jack arrived at the community center early, fueled by excitement and uncertainty. He had spent the night thinking about that elderly man and wondering if he'd actually show up. As he pushed open the door, he spotted Kayla at the counter, her headphones on, tapping away at her laptop, and Lila scribbling something on a piece of paper. The familiar smells of fresh coffee and cleaning supplies filled the air. "Morning, team," he called, his voice bright. "Hey, Jack," Kayla said, looking up, a smile stretching across her face. "Did you sleep at all? You seem pumped." "I couldn't stop thinking about our workshop. And, a potential participant from yesterday." Jack's enthusiasm bubbled over. "I hope he comes today. I really think he would bring a lot to the table." "Are you talking about Mr. Griffin?" Lila chimed in, her eyes wide with curiosity. "I heard he used to be a schoolteacher. I bet he has so many cool stories." "Exactly," Jack replied, warmed by Lila's excitement. "Anyway, let us get ready to make this place ring with life." They quickly set up tables, plenty of art supplies scattered around, and delicious snacks for the guests. Kayla's nervous energy was palpable. "I just hope people actually show up. What if no one cares?" "Hey," Jack said, stepping closer to her. "We're doing this not just for numbers, but to create connections. Even if it's just a few people, it could change everything for them. We can inspire someone today." As they were finalizing their setup, the door swung open. Jack's heart raced. In walked the elderly man, Mr. Griffin, looking a little nervous but intrigued. "Good morning," Jack said, grinning. "I'm so glad you decided to join us." Mr. Griffin peered around, taking in the colorful tables and laughter of Kayla and Lila. "This looks nice," he admitted begrudgingly, his expression softening. "Can I get you some coffee?" Jack asked, motioning to the coffee station. "Sure, why not?" he replied, easing into the atmosphere. As Jack poured the coffee, he noticed a few more people trickling in: a couple of teens, a single mother with her little boy, and some neighbors who often passed by without stopping. Each welcoming smile seemed to create an invisible thread tying them all together. "Okay, everyone," Kayla called out. "Let us start with introductions. Share your name and what brought you here today. Jack watched as each person shared their stories, and what began as a simple gathering blossomed into a sharing circle filled with laughter, past struggles, and opportunities. When it was Mr. Griffin's turn, he hesitated. "All right, yes, I suppose I can share," he said slowly. "I may be older, but I've got plenty to say if you care to listen." Jack felt a knot in his stomach. Would they truly listen? Would Mr. Griffin's nerves settle, or would the doubt creep back in? The room fell silent, anticipation hanging in the air as Mr. Griffin began to speak. His voice was shaky but grew stronger with each word. "I was once a teacher, and what I learned most was that every person has a story worth telling." Jack glanced at Kayla and Lila, their faces lighting up with interest. He could see the connection forming, bridging gaps he hadn't even realized were there. Just as he felt hope swell in his chest, the community center door burst open again. A young girl, disheveled and wide-eyed, rushed in. "I heard there were cookies. And I could really use a place to be." Jack's heart sank a bit but then soared. Would this girl's presence ignite new transformations? Would she feel seen? As the room buzzed with unexpected energy, he couldn't shake the feeling that something profound was shifting within them all. Would newfound courage emerge in the oddest of moments? What other lives would intertwine today? Mr. Griffin was still speaking, but Jack found himself distracted by the young girl. She stood in the doorway, her tangled hair catching the light. Her clothes were slightly too big, hinting at hand-me-downs and struggles he couldn't fathom. But even with dirt smudged on her face, she had the brightest eyes. "Come in. You're just in time," Jack called, waving her over. The room shifted as heads turned, welcoming her into their midst, her cheeks flushed as she stepped inside. "Really? You're sure?" The uncertainty in her tone was palpable. "Absolutely." Kayla chimed in, her smile genuine. "We love more friends here." With a hesitant but hopeful nod, the girl crossed the room and grabbed a cookie from the snack table. She immediately dove into happy munching, her energy infecting the air with a hint of playfulness. Jack's heart warmed. Here was yet another story waiting to be uncovered. "What's your name?" he asked her gently. "Lily," she said with crumbs tumbling from her mouth. "I heard about the cookies from my friend. She said there's nothing so great as cookies in a place where people like to talk." The young girl's entrance felt like a breath of fresh air. Mr. Griffin, momentarily interrupted, paused and his gaze softened. "Tell me, Lily," he said, encouraging her with a gentle smile. "What do you like to talk about?" Lily blinked, clearly caught off guard. Ghosts?" She blurted out, a conspiratorial smile forming. "And how the moon follows me everywhere." Laughter erupted in the room, breaking any tension that lingered. Hope sparked within Jack as he watched Lily create a bridge between generations. It wasn't just the cookies, it was her spirit that drew everyone in. Griffin leaned in, his voice full of warmth. "Well, I'm an expert on ghosts too. You know, I had a student who was convinced he could see one in the school's attic." Lily's eyes widened. "What happened?" A spark ignited, drawing stories from the elderly man. He shared tales of playful specters that danced in the night and students who believed the attic was a portal to another world. The room was captivated, laughter weaving a tapestry of shared experiences. "So, you really think they exist?" Lily asked, her curiosity genuine. "I think every story holds a bit of truth," Mr. Griffin replied, smiling. "And stories connect us, no matter how different we are." Everyone in the room nodded, resonating with his words. Jack felt a swell of gratitude for this gathering, how stories had turned strangers into friends. Just then, as laughter faded into conversation, the door swung open again. A middle-aged man, dressed in a crisp suit, stepped in. The room held its breath as he glanced around, his presence stark against the casual gatherers. The whispers of surprise cascaded through the participants. Jack's heart raced, wondering what this newcomer would bring. The man was a stark contrast to the warmth they had built. Just as Mr. Griffin had begun to share wisdom, would this new arrival disrupt the fragile bond formed by laughter and stories? "Sorry to interrupt," the man said, his voice steady but cold. "I'm looking for someone named Lily." Lily's smile faded as if someone had dimmed her light. Jack looked at her, worry threading through his heart. What had she gotten herself into? Who are you?" Lily stammered, her earlier bravado melting away. The suit-wearing man took a step closer. "I'm here to take you home." The room fell silent, tension thickening as Jack's instincts kicked in. Who was this man? And why did he seek Lily with such determination? Would they lose the spark of connection they had just ignited? What would this sudden intrusion mean for all the stories waiting to unfold? Lily's eyes locked onto the man, her small frame visibly shrinking as dread painted her face. The cookie she had just devoured lay forgotten, a piece of childhood innocence swallowed by fear. Jack felt his stomach twist. He couldn't remember the last time he'd witnessed such a swift shift in energy. "Home," Lily whispered, her voice trembling. "But I just got here." "Lily, we need to go." "Now," the man replied, his composure unyielding. Jack stood there, rooted to the spot as he sifted through a storm of emotions. Anger flickered inside him, propelling him to step forward. "Who are you to come in here and take her?" Jack demanded, his voice rising. "She was just getting comfortable." The man's eyes narrowed, dismissing Jack as if he were a mere speck of dust. "I'm her guardian," he stated flatly. "And it's my responsibility to ensure she returns home." "Home?" Kayla echoed incredulously. "She just found a place where she can laugh and share stories. Why would you want to take her away?" The room buzzed, murmurs ricocheting off the walls. Jack sensed the crowd drawing closer, a collective presence that surged to protect Lily. Their connection was palpable, forged within minutes, yet bonded by the very essence of what it meant to belong. "Look," the man said, impatience creeping into his voice. "This is none of your business. I'm not here for a debate." "I have legal documents." "Lily doesn't need to go," Jack interrupted. "She's not just a package you pick up and deliver." In that moment, Jack could see the flickering candle of hope being snuffed from Lily's eyes. His heart ached for her. Just as she had begun to open up, to share her vibrant spirit, she was being pulled away into shadows again. "Please," he urged, softening his tone. "If something's wrong at home, maybe we can help." The man hesitated, his facade nearly cracking. But he recovered quickly, his posture rigid. "It's not your concern." Lily's gaze shifted from Jack to the man, her small hands clasped tightly in front of her, betraying her uncertainty. I don't want to go," she murmured, her voice breaking. Jack noticed how small she looked in that moment, the weight of decisions that lay far beyond her young shoulders pushing down on her, and when Mr. Griffin stepped forward, his wise eyes shining. "You may not be aware, but every child deserves a safe space to grow and feel loved. Lily's found something remarkable here with us, something that can't just be taken away." "What do you mean?" The man replied, impatience flickering under his polished exterior. "Every story matters," Mr. Griffin continued. "And Lily's story isn't finished yet. It has just begun. And part of that story is here." The room held its breath as Lily looked at Mr. Griffin, then at Jack, searching for resolve in their faces. Jack felt the weight of this moment. He understood that children needed support, they needed voices to fight for them. "Please don't take her," Jack said, barely above a whisper now. "She deserves the chance to tell her story." The silence that followed was heavy and thick. It was a powerful plea echoing in the room, uniting everyone present. But the man's expression remained hard, as if he were a stone wall against the rising tide of concern. "Lily. Time to go." The word hung in the air uncomfortably, and Jack realized they faced a battle that went far beyond just one little girl. He drew a deep breath, resolve filling his core. Lily turned to him, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears, and for a heartbeat, the future hung in the balance. "Then let us see that paperwork," Jack challenged, his heart racing with urgency. The tension was electric, charged with the potential for change. Each person in the room leaned in, breath bated, sharing in the moment with Lily. Would they let this moment slip quietly away, or would they rally around her to create a new beginning? And as the man's expression faltered just a fraction, the question loomed larger than ever: what was truly at stake in this struggle over Lily's life? Jack's challenge hung in the air like a fragile thread, each person waiting for that thin line to either snap or hold strong. The man hesitated, his eyes flickering between Jack and the document in his hands. Out of the corner of his eye, Jack could see Mr. Griffin moving closer, ready to support him, ready to stand united in this fight for Lily. "Show us," Jack insisted, his voice steady despite the storm in his chest. "If you really have the documents, let us see them. Let us talk about what that means for Lily." Without a word, the man pulled a folded piece of paper from the bulging compartment of his briefcase. It looked official, but Jack couldn't shake the feeling that it was a poorly constructed shield against the bright human connection surrounding them. The murmurs in the room intensified, a wave of uncertainty crashing against the man's armored exterior. Lily's eyes darted between the strangers, searching for a flicker of understanding. Jack felt a knot in his throat. She needed a guardian, but she was also deserving of a voice, of choice. "You've got to tell him, Lily," Jack urged gently. "What do you want?" A moment stretched into eternity as everyone held their breath. Tears glistened in Lily's eyes, and Jack's heart swelled with the urge to protect her from the harsh realities that encroached. "I want to stay here," Lily finally said, her voice cracking but steady. "I want to know what it feels like to be happy." Her small frame shook slightly as she spoke, but her determination shone through. The man frowned, caught off guard by her candid admission. "You don't understand, Lily. We can't stay here. I have a plan for you. You need to go home." Jack stepped in closer. "What kind of home takes away a child's happiness?" he demanded, his tone clipped. The crowd grew restless. "What do you mean by a plan? Does it involve locking her away somewhere she can't smile or laugh?" Kayla asked, her voice rising. The man shifted, his confidence wavering. "Enough!" he snapped, but the words fell flat. Jack could feel the air thickening with a mix of defiance and fear, yet again he grabbed hold of that flicker of resolve. Lily deserves love, she deserves laughter, she deserves the chance to be a child. This is her home, whether you like it or not. People around them began murmuring in agreement, their voices blending into a supportive hum. It was as if a protective barrier was forming, encircling Lily in this small haven. Lily's expression brightened just a bit as the sound seeped into her. Maybe, just maybe, she wouldn't have to face this alone. Jack could feel their combined strength radiating from the crowd, energy flowing between them like a solemn pact. "Look, I can help you," the man interjected, his voice losing its edge. "You don't know what's waiting for you at home." "But I do know what's here," Lily replied, her voice now almost resolute. "I have friends, and I have people who care about me. I don't want to go back to whatever you call home if it's not safe." Jack felt a surge of gratitude wash over him, and in that instant, he saw the ripple effect of love and community begin to take shape. This was about more than one girl, it was about a community standing together, ready to fight against the shadows. "Let us put it to a vote," Mr. Griffin suggested, shifting the focus. "We are here for Lily. If this place holds her story, then we decide where she belongs." Gasps rose from the crowd, and Jack could see his words stirring hope. But the man narrowed his eyes, calculating. "Fine," he said slowly, hesitating, his attitude shifting again. "But do you really think they'll choose you?" Jack's heart raced, uncertainty mixing with the tenderness of the moment. The room was charged with anticipation. Would this be a spark for change or another defeat? The moment hung in the air, and in a heartbeat, he realized, this wasn't just about paperwork or guardianship, it was about asserting Lily's value and her right to decide her path. As the voices of the community began to rise, each resonating with a shared determination, another question loomed: would they be enough to tip the scale against the heavy hands of authority? Lily's heart raced as she surveyed the room, her fear and hope clashing like waves within her. Jack stood firm, feeling the warm pulse of community wrapping around them, a living tapestry woven from laughter, stories, and love. "Let us do it!" someone shouted from somewhere in the back. Others echoed the sentiment, voices rising in a chorus that filled the room with an electric energy. Jack felt the weight of the moment. It was all about Lily now. "Everyone who supports Lily staying, raise your hands," Jack urged, raising his own hand high, letting it point toward the ceiling as if summoning the very spirit of the community. One by one, hands shot up. Kayla S., Lila S., Mr. Griffin S., all the familiar faces they had gathered around this table, united by their collective hope. The man's expression darkened. "You really think this will hold up?" "It's just an emotional reaction," he scoffed, trying to maintain control. But Jack could see it, this was more than a momentary response. It was a commitment, a bond between individuals who had discovered their own humanity through shared experiences. The power of their voices swelled, drowning out the negativity the room transformed. "I want to stay," Lily cried out again, her voice unwavering, bolstered by the strength of those around her. Jack's heart swelled as he felt her conviction ripple through him. "Lily, who do you want to be with?" Jack asked, kneeling beside her, making sure she felt supported in this crucial moment. "With you guys. You're my friends." Her eyes sparkled with the innocence of hope. Just then, Mr. Griffin addressed the room with conviction. "This community is built on love and support. We can't ignore that today. At this very moment, we stand up for a child who deserves to grow, thrive, and be nurtured. We decide together." A bolt of realization struck the man. He had underestimated the power of connection. The tide was shifting, the ground beneath his feet slipping. This isn't over," he stammered, but uncertainty lingered in his voice. He had come as an unforeseen obstacle, but here stood a united front, determined to shield Lily from a fate that threatened to envelop her spirit. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he lowered his folding document, an acknowledgement of the potent force surrounding him. "All right," he mumbled, hesitating, the rigid lines of his stance softening. "Maybe we can discuss this." Maybe. The room erupted in relieved outcries, joy flooding through as Lily's spirit shone bright again. Jack felt the warmth in his chest, a mix of pride and relief as everyone rejoiced around Lily. Jack stepped forward, smiling down at her. "You did it, kiddo. You stood up and held your ground." As the crowd cheered, Lily laughed, her voice ringing clear and bright. With the tension melting away, Jack realized they'd crossed a threshold together. They hadn't just taken a stand for Lily, they'd forged connections that ran deeper than shared stories. As more people began to approach, ready to share support and resources, Jack understood that this was just the beginning of an enduring commitment. They would build something lasting, cultivating a space where everyone could belong, where nobody would be forgotten or overlooked. Days turned into weeks. Together, they transformed the community center into a vibrant hub of creativity and compassion, a sanctuary where connection blossomed. Each workshop brought new faces, every shared meal turned strangers into friends. Each day, Jack saw growth, genuine bonds forming among the community. They learned together, celebrated together, laughed together, weaving a fabric of unity that strengthened each individual thread. Lily thrived, her laughter echoing through the halls as she joined hands with other children, building friendships that would last a lifetime. Mr. Griffin became a cherished storyteller, sharing his tales and wisdom, and even the man in the suit returned, softening with the warmth of community as he discovered value within those he once dismissed. As the sun set on the terrace one evening, Kayla stood beside Jack. Both watching their community bloom. "I never thought it could grow like this," she said, her eyes shimmering with pride. He nodded, a soft smile breaking across his face. It's not just about one story anymore. It's about all of us and what we can do together. And it starts with kindness. And in that moment, Jack realized they had indeed bridged the gaps between their worlds. Hope ignited a change that rippled through generations, the essence of life lived together. It's beautiful, isn't it? He said softly. Kayla turned to him, her smile radiant. It's just the beginning, isn't it? Jack nodded, yes, it's only the beginning. The future shimmered with possibility, a wave of enthusiasm washing over him. They would write their stories, side by side, turning their community into a garden where love and kindness took root. Now, dear friends, here's where you come in. You need to subscribe right now. This is the moment to show your support for more incredible stories like this one. Don't you want to be part of this journey? Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep our stories alive. I want to hear from you. Comment your reactions and feelings about this epic ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Join us in spreading hope and change. Let us grow this community together.